What's going on, guys? This is John Zakari, and today I want to talk about Lost Reavers, a new free-to-play online game by Bandai Namco that is exclusive to the Wii U. When we first saw gameplay footage of what started out as Project Treasure, I was pretty excited. I've proclaimed for years that there just isn't enough online-based games to group up with your friends and play cooperatively on the Wii U system. And I was intrigued by the whole dungeon crawler meets survival combination, as you need to proceed through hordes of enemies, but your weapons have a fixed amount of ammo as well as a durability meter for melee weapons. This forces you to choose your spots to attack carefully, as to not wind up in a vulnerable position without the means to fight your way out. So does Lost Reavers fill the Wii U void I hoped it would? Let's check it out. When you start the game, you're given the option to pick from one of the game's 4 character classes to start with, and they range from melee focus to ranged, or even a combination of both. And don't worry, as you are free to play any class whenever you want. Next, a tutorial will run you through the core concepts of the game, obviously the combat, as well as interactables. A major key to success in this game is choosing when to interact with the terminals, puzzles, etc. to proceed to the next room, as enemies will continue to attack you and your character is defenseless while performing these actions. And when you reach the end of a stage, you'll find a relic, and that needs to be carried back to the extraction point to complete the mission. This adds another layer of strategy, as the character carrying the relic moves slower and, as with the other interactables, is defenseless while doing so. Now, the relic can be dropped to allow the player to help the team and then picked up again by any of the players, but you do want to get out of there before you become overwhelmed. If you fail to bring the relic back to the extraction point, you'll miss out on any of the extra goodies your team acquired during the mission. The rewards can range from ammo and healing items to treasure and analysis chips that will help you acquire and upgrade your gear. Once you complete the tutorial, you're ready to get into the core of the game, and it works a lot like Monster Hunter. Users can host rooms that allow a group of up to 4 players to team up and tackle submissions. Once you get into a room, all the players have to ready up in order to proceed to the mission, so if one guy decides to dilly-daddle in the menus or just stand there like a troll, the whole team is screwed. Just as with Monster Hunter, this game should have allowed the leader to start the mission, leaving all the players who haven't readied up behind. And once I got into the game, oh boy, the lag was real. To the point of being unplayable, there were huge delays between my button presses and characters' actions, and even enemy reactions seemed totally off. I tried joining a couple of other games and kept running into the same problem. It wasn't until I hosted my own game using the Wii U LAN adapter for a wired connection that the game started to get more stable. This has been a huge issue with Nintendo's disregard for online gaming, as since using a wired connection requires a separate adapter, most players stick with Wi-Fi, and this experience just isn't optimized for that. And to clarify, my connection plays Splatoon perfectly fine on Wi-Fi. I strongly suggest those looking to play this game use the same method. As you play through and complete levels, you'll receive XP that allows your character to level up and spend points to get new skills. This offers a nice sense of progression, giving your character additional moves and stats, but the trees are really straightforward. There isn't much room to make unique builds, which is often a major draw to these types of games. Also, the environments will get very repetitive, as there's only a couple, and even though the layouts change, you'll even start to notice individual rooms getting repeated. And how about the biggest attraction with these types of games? The loot. Outfitting your character with new items to make them increasingly more badass. Well, that gets pretty annoying too. So, as I stated earlier, you get these analysis chips to open crates with new items, but it's not just a simple transfer. Using these chips enters a little progression cinematic that shows you how much progression you got out of the chip towards unlocking the crate. So yeah, it can take several of these chips to get one item, and they're fairly rare. I dumped a few just on this purple shotgun and got virtually nowhere on the progression. Now, while doing this, I noticed there are these gold special analysis chips that you could also use that I had yet to come across. Perhaps these would make it easier to get into these crates. But where are they? Oh, I'll tell you where you can get a ton of them. Yep, in the cash shop. Yes, you can purchase these with real money to get quicker access to better gear. And what does that mean? This is a pay-to-win game. After making this discovery and not really being wowed by the game up until that point, I had had enough. I thought Lost Reavers seemed like a great concept, and the game itself feels just like that, a concept that may interest you for a couple hours before you realize there isn't much to do. Hell, I didn't even get into the visuals, which, if I'm going to be hard on Star Fox Zero, I gotta say this title looks really bland and outdated. But still, since the game is free to play, I certainly recommend anyone who thinks this looks interesting to check it out. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Let me know your thoughts on Lost Reavers, especially if you've played it, in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel now, and you can say you were a subscriber before it was cool. As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.